What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 18 of the Coffee Club pod. We're not in the studio today. We've moved out of Boulder, and we're down here in beautiful Florida for 6 weeks for training camp. It does look nice and sunny right now, but it's actually pretty cold today.
Morgan thinks it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Florida's Morgan's new favorite place in the world, apparently.
Yeah, not gonna lie, since I've been down here, I've been feeling incredibly optimistic.
Rejuvenated, I would say.
Rejuvenated. Nah.
Morgan's an anti-masker already.
Yeah, I'm just getting in with the culture, you know, so no more masks for Morgan. No, it's nice here, you know. Hopefully it gets a little warmer though. But obviously today we're very lucky to be joined by teammate Joe Klecker. What's up, Joe?
How's it going?
He's been definitely our most highly requested guest, and so we're very lucky to get him on very happy to get him on for the first step down here in training camp. But before we get into Klecker and everything else that happened in the past week or whatever, because like a lot of shit happened, we have to make a very special announcement, and that's tomorrow, so Saturday, the 22nd, I believe it is, our coffee beans, our first drop, will be going out live to the world for purchase.
We actually are doing it.
We're actually doing it. We feel incredibly unprepared.
Yep.
Don't know how it's going to go, but our first drop is kind of a bit of a trial run into the little foray into the first foray into the first foreplay into the merch world. It'll be limited to I think 100 bags of beans.
Yep.
Getting roasted by our boy Matt over at White Bridge Coffee Co. And I mean, maybe we should give
tested by ourselves and our
inspiration.
Yeah, like to give some more context to it for everyone that's listening. We should probably tell a little bit about the story behind it, which Matt was actually the first person to send us beans. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
was it really our first? I think you're right.
Yeah, first person to send us beans
with the handwritten labels, which we all really liked.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, so he's like just started a little roasting company in Madison. Obviously he's into running if he was listening to our podcast, I would imagine. And so from that point we had like the idea that at some point we would sell coffee beans because, you know, it just makes sense. It's like something that we're all really into, and it's the Coffee Club pod. So then from there on we started kind of working with him a bit, and he sent us we sent him the flavors that we liked, and then we did a little taste test. We got even Jason, our guy
boy,
on it.
Yeah,
our man.
Coffee expert.
And we came up with like the flavor, the beans that we like the most, and now it's actually like becoming a real thing. So I guess we're coffee bean sellers, entrepreneurs.
Yep.
I don't know.
Mama, I made it.
Yeah.
Mama, I made it.
If
you
want to drink our coffee.
Yeah.
If you'd like to taste it.
An ant just fell in my coffee.
Oh no.
Like, no. I think there's like 2 ants in here.
2 ants.
Florida, bro.
And with that segue, George, you want to shout out our coffee beans
the coffee
today?
we're drinking today. Blue House Coffee Roasters. The Kent roast.
Kent. As Jordy would say, Kent roast.
Kent roast. Unfortunately, we actually have forgotten and couldn't locate who sent us these. We apologize. We're pretty sure they're from like Phoenix, Arizona-ish.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the postal address because it said Keith Hall. I did appreciate that.
Wait, was that these ones too?
Yeah, that was those ones.
I don't know, but yeah, we forgot
who this was. But Blue House Coffee Roasters, delicious.
Thank you very much.
This is our second bag already.
Yeah,
we're about a bag a day.
Yeah, that's
we're on a bag a day right now.
We're like howling down on these, getting through them.
But yeah, so thank you for the beans. We'll give you a shout out on the Instagram.
It's legit
whoever sent them in, but
it's still crawling. I'm gonna drink it anyway.
Do it.
It's good protein.
Just drink around it.
But yeah, so check out our Instagram for all the details on buying the beans. That'll all be on there. But yeah, bear with us. First time selling everything, so hopefully it goes well, but we'll see. But yeah, so we're here in Florida. We got big Kleck Daddy on the pod. I think we're not going to do we have so much to talk about today, so I don't think we're going to go like super interviewy, but Joe Klecker, I mean, if you listen to this podcast, you're obviously going to know like everything about him, but yeah, how you doing, man?
Good. Finally got the invite to the pod, so pretty happy to be here.
It's a big day. You've been, I guess, a little bit injured lately, but you're coming back from it like pretty amazingly, it seems like.
Yeah, no, I got injured over like literally on Christmas Day. I woke up, went for a run, and my foot hurt, and so yeah, I've been dealing with it since then, but I'm back running now. but not doing indoor season, so it was a bit.
1 mile on the ground yesterday.
1 mile on the 1.2K.
Oh,
Dayton let me
baby.
do 2K. Today
2K on the ground yesterday, so then probably like 2K cut down workout.
2K cut down workout Friday. Yeah.
Right back at it with the boys.
No, that is cool. That it's healing well.
Yeah. So the plan is just to be back for outdoors then.
Yeah, like as much as I want to do indoor and Milrose, like I think I could do Milrose, but that doesn't like I guess mean I should.
Yeah, you
which
could do
Nathan had to,
a
like-
lot of things.
Yeah, they had to kind of like get me to buy into that because I was like, I'm doing Milrose. Like
Yeah.
I would have done US Cross like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm doing
Well, I
it.
got 10 days. I can do that.
Yeah. And then Dathan's telling me these stories about him training through a stress fracture, taking 1 day off, and I'm like, dude, I took 7 days off and I'm running on the Ultra G. Like, why can't I do this?
Yeah, Dathan's interesting with those stories though, because like he'll tell you the story. I don't know. Dathan has experienced literally everything in his career, so he can tell you a story for any scenario that he wants to prove you of.
That is
Because he
actually
can
true.
tell you that if he wanted you to rate, like say if it was before the U.S. trials, like because this is a great time to be injured if you think about it. But if this was like 2 weeks before the U.S. Olympic trials, he would tell you the story.
He'd
Like,
tell you a slightly different story where you
Yeah.
did get through it and then you made the team or
Yeah.
something.
but then if he doesn't want you to run, he can tell you, yeah, I tried to do that this other time and it went really bad.
Well, he was telling me the story the other day. He's like, yeah, I had a stress fracture and ran 140 miles a week on the Ultra G, and then I ran an 8:11 2 mile. I'm like, well, I want to do that. I want to do that.
That's
And
the
then,
story I like.
but then he's like, well, then the other 3 times I tried to do that, it didn't work.
So
He's got a
one of
variation
4.
for every situation.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
it's
seeing
hard
the
to
change.
argue with that much experience of doing everything possible while injured to
He
make
seriously has, but
And he is like the most optimistic person when it
Yeah,
comes
he
to
is,
injuries.
he's
Like he's
amazing.
convinced that everything will just heal
it. Everything
perfectly.
would turn out all right.
Yeah.
It's like that's definitely one of his superpowers is his optimism. Like you can see
If
how
he
that
just wills things
Yeah.
to
You can
happen.
see
It will sink a
you
lot.
can see that in his running career, and then especially as a coach, like it comes out a lot. Like him just being a full optimist, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But Florida boys, you guys, Ollie and George, had your first workout here. How'd that go?
It's pretty
Oh,
good. I mean,
it-
Jordy and I after
It
the
was
first
pretty
set.
shit at the start.
Yeah, Jordy and I after the first
we
set
were
were like,
both like, oh,
I
honestly,
don't know if I
might
can
not do
finish this
this.
because like you had, I think we're in the.
We worked out the day before. Like, we traveled the day before,
Yeah,
and then we were like straight into some, basically like speed endurance.
yeah.
And we haven't done. That's our first one
Once we got going, we're pretty good.
since the summer.
Once we got going, we're pretty good.
Just
I
the
think it was
first set was
start.
miserable.
It was like there was no shade, and just purely just getting. Once we got going,
By the end, we were good.
Yeah, we were moving.
Yeah,
It was
did
the
our
cla-
classic 600 breakdowns, which is Ollie, according to episode whatever number, it's Ollie's favorite
It's
workout.
my favorite workout. I cream
It's
for
like-
that workout, bro. I cream for it.
It's 600, 400, 300, 200 times 3
Yeah.
with like a decent amount of rest, like 200 jog in between each rep, but then like a decent amount of rest between sets, like change shoes or.
I remember the
whatever you need
last
to
time
do.
all 4 of us did that workout. Morgan was wearing trainers.
that
And Morgan had to
I
run like
was just thinking about
127.
that.
Remember that? We were all
Yeah.
together and we all had like spikes and training shoes, like running
Flats.
flats.
Morgan set a world record
Yeah,
in the
Morgan set a
Stratus.
world
Yeah.
record in the Stratus.
In
Is
the
running
training
127 for the 600, and Morgan's like
130.
He just joined the team
Yeah,
too.
that
I
was like
remember
his
that.
first workout. We're like,
Yeah.
dude, why are you wearing that? Like, put something.
I
good on.
I didn't realize there was because there's sneaky a lot of volume in that session if you're doing 3 or 4 sets of it.
It was
whatever.
3 sets,
Three.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I thought it was just like, oh,
Spikes straight
it's a
up.
speed workout. We're wearing spikes for it, right? No, like you start in flats and then you progress to spikes. But that also was a workout where, like, I was so injured, and like that was probably the workout where I noticed the most. Like, I started with some pain, and by the end, I was in extreme pain. I don't know if you guys remember, but like by the end of it, like I couldn't, like I had no acceleration because my abductors were gone. Like
But
it
you-
was. It
Was
got
that
was
bad.
before
also-
or after the 3K time trial though, where you're also so injured?
Yeah, it was. I think it was the week before it. I think it was maybe the workout or this.
I think it was right before.
So, and by the end of it, I remember trying to do the warm down. I remember it distinctly because I couldn't run like under 9-minute pace, and I was in so much pain. So
We were all in pain after
But then
that.
a week later, you set the state record for 3K.
unofficially, but and
Oh,
then-
yeah.
but that was
Morgie
it.
turns up.
But do you like those workouts, Joe? Like the speed ones?
I do. I didn't like him at first because, like, Dathan will say, like, these guys too, like, the first, like, 6 months that we were all on the team, like, these guys were very good at those workouts, and I was terrible. And I've definitely gotten better, like, as I've been under Dathan longer.
Yeah.
But
That's the one thing I noticed though with Joe is like the longer like the workouts you see, the Strava King workouts, those like miles repeats or those 4 3 2 1 mile, like those type of workouts is where we just like the boys that are good at the 600 breakdowns are just like, oh shit, we're gonna get fucked here. And then Joe would jump in for the 600s and be like, oh, I'm gonna get fucked here.
Yeah.
It's like,
but those are the ones I think I get the most.
yeah,
from,
I get the
like-
most out of the longer ones too. I just hate them when I get dropped.
I think there's very few people in the world that could run 600 breakdown like Ollie.
Yeah, dude. You run those so quick. Like those
600 is just not an easy distance to run, and like running
going
it
through
that
in
hard.
56 and then
Yeah.
keep going.
Dude, I remember when we went. Was it 120? We ran 120.
Yeah, that was that day with Morgan.
That was
like, and that was like our
hilarious.
4th time doing the workout of the season, probably.
Dathan
So each
knew,
time we
Dathan
do it,
knew
it
and he
gets a
looked me
lot
in the-
faster.
He looked me in the eye and he said, "Don't strain." And then I ran 120, and he's like, "Well, you didn't strain, but I didn't want you to do that."
the 120 is quick.
Are you at the point now where you've done the workout so many times like you have to do better than your last time?
That's the thing, though. That's the thing that I think catches you. Like, if you do it, if you
Ollie
feel
probably
comfortable-
would have if I wasn't there
Yeah.
yesterday. He would
But
have
if
been
you-
in panic
if
mode.
you feel comfortable and you're like running, like I feel like once you hit those times and you're feeling good with that, then it's this progression that you're like, oh, I'm getting fitter, I'm getting better at doing that type of workout, and that's something that I need to learn because I'm terrible at that.
But
so.
doing the workout better each time doesn't necessarily mean that you can run that much faster in a race.
no,
Yeah,
it's
true.
but like doing it better would
You've
mean
just
like
done
you're
it a
running
few
the same
times.
but you're feeling comfortable.
Because you
doing
learn
it.
the workout, you know?
Yeah.
And like if you just learn how to run the workout faster, that doesn't mean necessarily like
That you're
you're
doing
actually
it
fitter.
better.
Like you just know how to like attack
we
it.
ran a couple of 124s the other day, but like
We were very
you-
relaxed.
by June, Ollie's gonna be running those last ones in like 120 or faster.
Mhm.
There's
That
a
was
massive
crazy.
vulture just like
Um,
flying around the street.
but like it's not even like the shape you're in. It's just that that's the first time we've done it in 6 months.
Yeah.
It's true.
We haven't done much speed.
Yeah, you guys set the bar pretty high there, I guess. 124s.
All right.
Can't get any slower.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's Florida.
That's Florida.
Back to working out tomorrow for the boys.
You guys will hear more about Florida as the weeks progress.
Yeah. But this past few days / week, like a lot of shit happened in the running world. So was it yesterday, Houston? That was literally yesterday, right?
Yep.
So the
You can work
Houston,
backwards.
yeah, the Houston half and marathon were on yesterday, and I guess it was probably like the most impressive in terms of Americans competing in America in the marathon distance. It was just like ridiculous. Obviously, we don't do a great job at recapping races because we don't really pay attention to like results, but we do pay attention to headlines, and there was a lot of headlines with both the women's marathon record being broken and the half marathon record being broken by Kira Tomato and Sarah Hall.
Sarah Hall? Oh, Hall, sorry.
What, you think you're related to her?
Well, I don't know. I thought you said Hall. I was like, damn, do I have a cousin that just ran the half marathon
I mean,
record? Or?
maybe, but I mean, her one was crazy as well because Ryan Hall, her husband / coach / bodybuilder, Jinx.
Slash
Do
Hercules.
you still think that Sarah Hall's related to Ryan Hall?
That was a joke. That was a joke, George.
They had the same last name.
It's got to be related.
Okay, that was a little. Why
That was
were
a
we?
track star. That
Why
was a
were we
track star
talking about that?
Trackstar
No,
posted
it's
that said it runs in the family.
I think it was
Oh.
Trackstar.
Trackstar posted it runs in the family, and I wanted to comment and say, what, they related?
Oh,
Like, what
yeah,
What is
yeah.
that? How does that have
Something
anything to do
like
with
that.
it?
Hopefully not blood related.
Yeah, you hope not, but you never know.
That was cool. And she's
That was
like
awesome.
gone for that record a few times and just barely missed it a couple of times, but kept at it.
Yeah, she's part
Getting
of that.
it as
Pretty
well.
freaking sweet.
Part of that current era of just like absolute big hitter marathoners who just seem to like race so much and just
Yeah.
like go for it. It's pretty sweet to see that.
It's also great to see that, like, it gives you an example of longevity in that type of career because they're like pretty old, right?
It's like
37,
Dathan's
38.
age.
Yeah.
I think
They're
Sarah's like
37,
38.
Yeah.
Both of them like. So that's a pretty cool thing to see. Records getting broken at that age.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan and Sarah are almost the same age, and Ryan set the record 15 years ago
And he's
at
also-
the same race.
He's also put on 100 pounds of muscle. Since
Oh,
then.
200 pounds, surely.
Yeah, dude, that guy was actually really skinny when
He was
He was
Skinny
like
ads.
freaky skinny.
But yeah, I
Now he
mean,
looks like a guy from Geordie Shore.
yeah, he's balling out. But that is crazy. And then, I mean, Kira, it's Kira, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kira D'Amato.
Mm-hmm.
Kira Tomato.
She's also got an amazing story. They're both like very cool stories. Just
Yeah.
slightly different, but obviously a lot of similarities. They both have kids. Kira says that I believe she didn't run seriously for 7 years, or maybe just not at all. And she became a realtor. And so she got like a real job and stuff, which she apparently still does. So
Was it a couple of years ago? She ran like 3:30 or something for the marathon.
Yeah, what was that, Klecker?
Yeah, I saw someone post a photo of her like crossing the line in a marathon, ran like 3:30 or something, and just which is cool to run a marathon, but it's like it looks like she just like went out and ran a marathon, like not as a.
Do you know how long ago it was?
Didn't you say 2019 or something?
No, 2019 she ran 2:30 like 5 or 2:40 in Berlin.
All right.
Or London. No, this was maybe like 2013 or something.
Oh, okay, like a while ago.
Yeah,
a while ago, but
that's still
like
3:30 down to 2:19.
To think that she would come back a decade later and run 2:19 is
it's nuts. 2:19 is so fast, man.
Yeah,
like that is
so
ridiculous.
fast.
Yeah, the standard is like so much higher now.
Yeah. Seeing the splits for that were pretty intimidating because like that's would you know what that average is? It must be like 5 teens, right?
69 for
it's
the
under
half.
5:20, I think, or it's definitely thereabouts.
Yeah, I think she's running like 5:18s.
Like, that's pretty intimidating to think
80s.
about doing that for 26 miles. So
it's pretty sweet.
Crazy.
Are there other women's highlights?
Other women's highlights.
Before
I mean, there was
there
was just a lot of great performances, especially people we know, like Dom Scott coming third and running 67:30, second fastest South African woman ever, and like that's just like so quick. I didn't know that women ran that quick for the half marathon, like just casually, like that's really close to men's times. I feel like it's very impressive, but then well on the men's side there was a lot because there's like a lot of people we know running it. Pat Tiernan ran it, which I believe was
in a new spicy kit. I see.
Yeah,
spicy.
He signed with Puma, I suppose, after being at the OTC for 1 year or 2 years. Less than 2 years.
Not a super long time.
Maybe
Not
2
long.
years.
Not long.
Should we go into some classic Coffee Club speculation of where we think he's moving to?
Yeah.
Well, we do
cracked
know
the code. We did the investigating and
Yeah.
we cracked the code because
he's followed by
so Puma Elite Distance Project, whatever the name is.
Oh my god.
That sounded like a joke, but
Puma Athletics Club.
yeah.
Pack.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
The Pac-12. He's going to the
Yeah.
Pac-12, ladies and gentlemen. He's heading to the Pac-12.
They only followed 21 people, as of this moment, followed 21 people on Instagram, and one of them is Pat Tiernan, so that's a dead giveaway. But the thing is, like, then is he moving to North Carolina?
The chance of moving North Carolina seems so slim for him.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe he is,
But
because
could be wrong.
otherwise why would they have followed him and all that?
Maybe he just feels obliged to follow them because they're Puma and he's Puma. And they feel like they have to
They
follow
wanted
him.
to give him the follow back. They didn't want to offend him. Maybe
That
is
team
So
did
his
pretty
new
well.
coach
That
would
team
be-
did pretty well in Houston too.
Yeah.
With Dressel like 62s, and
They
then
did.
they had a
O'Keefe,
woman
Fiona?
O'Keefe.
67, right? Like not far behind Sarah Hall.
Yeah, and that
Oh,
was
yeah,
true.
she had a great race.
I think
too.
that was a
They did.
debut for her, and that was a debut for Dressel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
Dressel
well.
ran well.
good day out there for them. Good job to Pat Tiernan and Puma. I think that was the third fastest Aussie ever, I want to say. I know it wasn't the fastest, but I don't think it was the second.
Robbo still has that, right?
Yeah, Brett Robinson has the Aussie record in the half. And then the Canadian record, also broken by Papa Lynx, Chief Soy Boy Roy Linkletter, Caramello Koala stealing.
Man of many titles.
Yeah,
coached by
we should
Ryan Hall. So
Yeah.
he had a good day. As
Yeah,
a coach.
Ryan Hall had a great
Ryan
day.
Hall had a great
we
day.
should
Double
send
national record.
Rory some caramel koalas to say
Yeah.
congrats. Oh, he can't eat them anyway. He's a soy boy. Never mind.
Yeah, actually, that's
can't eat
true.
Are they
Can't
winning
eat
some
them.
vegan
We can send them to
caramel
him
koalas?
anyway. He just be like,
We'll send him some vegan
throw
chocolate.
Throw them out to everyone. And
Wait, does vegan
Wait, is he
chocolate?
vegan
Honestly-
or vegetarian?
he's vegan. He's a
Vegan.
soy boy, isn't he?
So
Wow.
Chief Soy Boy.
He's a cheese
Oh,
soy
no,
boy. He's
That
a
actually was pretty sweet because that was obviously like a pretty big move for him to like leave a team with a huge amount of support and go to another coach and flag.
unsponsored and run that quick.
Yeah, that was the comment
Unsponsored.
that I made. I was like, man, that sucks to not be sponsored, and then 2 weeks later, you run a national record, which you would assume would have a massive bonus in your contract.
that
Yeah.
sucks.
That's kind of sucky.
Don't remind him of that.
But
But like, if he was still in his situation, who knows if he would have hit the record?
Hit the
record.
Like,
yeah,
I think
and,
he
yeah,
More
just shows
importantly
he
for
made a
him,
great
he's
move for
running
himself.
well.
Yeah, you're right.
probably
Yeah.
made a great move, and hopefully, if you have a performance like that, you feel like that'll be reflected kind of in your next contract. I guess is the hope. So
What did he run?
61:11. Don't quote me on it.
Okay.
61:30.
And more speculation because the other person who left NAZ also ran really well, Scott Forball.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was either right
They were
behi-
both in
right in front of
61s.
Rory or right behind Rory.
Yeah.
And he's with Team Boss Babes.
Yeah,
Oh,
shout
yeah.
out
What's
to
it Ben? Because Ben Flanagan was like he said he was the 3rd Canadian ever. So he was
He
like
was 61.30 something.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh.
Rory had to be 61.11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Leroy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sounds right.
I don't know
to
what
me.
football
yeah.
ran.
Yeah, and then another announcement for Ben Flanagan. He just signed with On.
Welcome to the family. But
The
not our
family, but not the team.
Yeah, he's unfortunately not joining our team. I don't know. We probably don't want to spoil the news of where he is going.
No, but he has signed with On, and you know, we're excited for him and happy for him, and we wish him.
I think there's a
hopefully we'll
good
see him
chance
soon.
he'll like
It's a
maybe
small
come
enough-
do some altitude
Yeah.
training.
Yeah,
or
like
He
it's
might
a
come
small
and
enough
join
brand
us.
that like we're gonna.
Yeah.
Like, he'll
encounter
I
him.
mean, maybe he'll come down here and
We might see him next week.
Yeah,
Who knows?
He might come
pop
for
down.
testing and stuff. Like,
But
I'm
he ran-
sure.
I think
As-
he'd want to come to Colorado and do some altitude training.
Yeah.
For, like road build-ups.
I think he's sticking to
he's
the
going to be a
roads.
marathoner pretty soon.
Yeah.
It must be.
It'd be cool.
But
Yeah.
that's awesome. He signed with On, and he ran the fastest half marathon in the Echo Booms.
Yeah.
Right? Is that
I
confirmed?
On-
don't know of any on runner who's gone faster.
Yeah. I mean, I know
That's
an on
true.
runner
This
that's
is
run
true.
10K in the Echo Booms and run.
Yeah.
No
No one will break that record.
one will break that record
no
because it
one
doesn't
will-
exist anymore.
No one will race in that shoe on the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah. I can't believe you did that.
I can't believe you did that either.
That was nuts.
Just for context to people that are listening, Joe ran his first 10K
First
for
10K.
On. He ran them in the Echo training shoes, and he ran this
Was you on, like,
27, 30,
35?
yeah, it's just something
35,
ridiculous
yeah.
in
the flats.
those shoes, which is yeah,
Legs felt amazing the next day too.
yeah.
Did they actually?
Yeah,
No.
because like they weren't beat up. I mean, I had
Did you get like when I try to run really quick in flats, I sometimes get like the really hot. Like
I actually didn't.
yeah,
frictions.
how did you not get hot feet that day?
I
That's
don't
crazy.
know. That day was like, a lot
The
of
stars
things,
were aligned.
Yeah,
apart from
stars
not running.
aligned. I was like anaerobic 5K in, and I just remember kept seeing Drew and Sam like screaming for me from lane 8. I'm like, okay, It's like, but that was a hard race.
Yeah. So, anything else from Houston that we didn't cover? It was
Oh, the
just, like,
commentators, absolutely shocking.
were they?
Except for Des when she came on, you have like a person that actually knows running.
Who
There
were
was
the
a comment. There was a
commentators?
comment that
They
said
were just like local
Local
news.
news.
local
Anchors.
news, and they said
Anchors.
they go like, "Oh, are you a runner? No. Are you a runner? No." And then they're commentating about people. They missed the women's winner.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was terrible.
In the women's half marathon, they were filming
For the
I think
entire-
for the entire time. They thought Sarah Hall was the winner, which I think someone finished in like 65 minutes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
quick. I
Like
looked
2
at
minutes
it.
ahead of
2 minutes
her.
ahead.
Was she?
She was a Kenyan
Ethio-
woman.
Kenyan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Ethiopian?
completely
Kenyan?
missed
Yeah.
her. It was
Yeah, that's
shocking.
bad.
It was really bad.
And I don't
And
know
they
if that was
tried to
on-
like laugh it off.
I don't know if that was
I
on
was
the
like-
announcers or on the lead vehicle
Yeah.
who they were following. Because,
It's a bit of both. I
because
think.
one thing that was strange about Houston was they started the men's and women's half marathon and marathon at the exact same time. So it is nice that there's one running clock for the whole race, but I
That is
guess
nice.
it just shows that like people could get maybe a little bit lost when they're trying
Yeah.
to film all the.
But look
This
at
is-
the results that come out of that event, right? The Houston, like that was crazy what came out of it, and the way that they covered it was atrocious. It's not fair on the athletes to be able to like not give them the respect and the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah. I
Well,
feel
it's not
like
fair on the person who won.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
65 minutes.
that's
it's
quick,
shocking.
bro. That's pretty
And then the
quick.
comment, like some of they just didn't know what was going on, and it was very cringeworthy. If you're a fan of the sport, and that's the one reason why the sport's not progressing, I think, is because you don't have people. I mean, if Gaucho was on there, she would have helped kind of steer the conversation.
Yeah, if you're not like pleasing the actual fans, then like you're doing something wrong.
because I
No.
tweeted something about it and someone replied like, "What do you expect? Like normally local news agencies cover these races. Like how do you expect them to be like runners?" But it's like, why couldn't they bring on people
Yeah.
who know
Yeah.
the sport? Like
Why
you-
couldn't
like, I was
Des
wa-
come on earlier?
Like you watch a football game and it's on your local news station, but they bring in people who know the sport. Like,
No, it
that's
should be
maybe
the
a problem.
specialists, like the same people like doing each marathon, because then they can bring that expertise and
Yeah.
consistency.
Because Des came on later, but she should have been. I think she should have been on there the whole time.
She's on it for
because-
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, she should have been on there the whole time because she needs to be an outlet for the fans because she knows what she's talking about when it comes to what's going on.
What did Roots? Someone from Roots tweeted that then
It was
now
Dottie.
the best
Noah
marathon.
Droddy.
4
No,
sub
Jordy,
12 marathoners on one team.
That's pretty sick.
It's pretty damn good.
He threw out the gauntlet, said, "Change my mind. We are the best marathoning group in the
Mm.
country," and I don't think anyone replied with
Nope.
any.
Droddy 209,
Backlash.
Frank 210,
No,
Parker.
Frank 2:11:30.
Yeah.
Did you run 211?
Yeah,
They
he
ran-
did.
yeah.
Parker-
Frank, well, 2 people from Roots.
Well,
ran
what's Parker
2:11:30.
210?
Parker's
Parker
210.
210. Frank 211.
30.
Luke Caldwell,
2:11:30.
which I think that was debuts for.
I think those are both
of them.
debuts for Frank and Luke.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out
Boulder.
to-
So
Yeah,
4 and the
Boulder is.
212.
It's pretty impressive to do that. And then
and most of them work full-time jobs. Because I remember Parker saying when he joined the team, he's going to have to start working out at 7 a.m.
Yeah, we talked about that last week that with Noah about how that goes.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh,
also Sydney in the half. Debut
Sydney.
in the half. Yeah.
What time did he run?
67.
61 low.
Oh, 61 low.
61
So that's Roots as well.
That's
so.
Roots as
61
well.
oh.
Congratulations, Sydney.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm sure he'll run a marathon
They
the
had
next
them-
year.
They had themselves a day.
Yeah.
Hopefully he keeps running the half. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good, man. Anything under 62 is freaking good, man.
Didn't he run a half like in December? Did he do the U.S. half marathon champs or no?
I thought that was a debut. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I know he ran a 10 mile.
No, it was
Okay.
a debut because it came up on
No, because he
Twitter
did. He
saying it was
did.
a
Didn't he
debut.
he did the half marathon champs when Morgan Pearson won it? Remember? I swear.
He could have.
I might be making.
We
this
might
up.
have to fact check that.
I know.
but
I know.
wild
Sydney- I
speculation.
know he did a
Yeah.
10 mile.
Okay.
So he's raced close to the.
I
Yeah.
thought I
Yeah.
saw on Twitter that it was a debut, but we should fact check it because
He's
it
done a
could
number
be-
of road races.
Yeah, he's done a lot of road stuff.
He's a beautiful runner. He's the type of guy where you just like, yeah, you could just run forever on the roads, just keep going. But so that's our Houston recap. A lot of amazing performances. Needs better commentating. Fly the Coffee Club in next. Actually, it would do pretty shit as well. At least we wouldn't be pretending to do well. You know, we'd do a shit job, but we'd own up to it.
I honestly feel like we'd do good.
I think we'd do better than the people that were there.
We'd provide like pretty good entertainment, and like every now and then we'd probably know what we're talking about.
And you could do a bit of research.
Yeah, I think we would do.
I don't think the people who were doing it did any research.
They just rocked
Yeah.
up and was like, "Oh, what's going on?"
They didn't even know the marathon was on until they got to work that day. They just went up at the studio like, oh, what's happening today on the
you're
news?
gonna cover this today.
Oh, there's a marathon. Okay, I guess I'll talk about it. Why not?
These people look like they're running
Yeah. So
on the roads.
good job to everyone there.
Wait, should we cover the Dick Small Invitational?
Oh my god.
Okay,
that was
so
funny.
okay, whoever came up with the idea to name a meet the Dick Small Invitational is probably a
No
genius.
offense to Dick Small.
No offense to Dick Small.
That would
but
be a
it's
fun
genius.
meet to commentate in like every probably minute. Just drop the name of the meet
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
commentating.
But you have
Congratulations,
to
George
play
Beamish on the
character and you
Dick
can't
Small.
laugh
Congratulations to the
about it.
champion of Heat 3 of the 100 meter at the Dick Small Invitational.
Okay, surely.
And we're back in the Dick Small Invitational.
I don't get it. Like, if your name is Richard Small, surely you just go by Richard and not Dick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the parents
Think about
naming
him
them
too,
Richard
like,
in the
you know
first
sometimes
place.
you know sometimes you put your last name first name.
Small Dick.
Oh yeah, it'd be like small comma Dick.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of this, you know what we came up with today on the run? Joe, if you get because Joe's middle name is Richard, if you get your last name changed to Herder when you get married to Sage, Joe Dick Herder.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
That's pretty good. That is good.
Yeah, you should consider that. you
Yeah,
know?
I'll look into it.
Little-
Dick Herder. And then you just drop Joe altogether.
Yeah,
And you just become Dick Herder.
And drop the A.
Dick Herder.
Dick Hurt.
that'd
Oh,
be-
that's great content there.
I would just, consider
That's
it.
hashtag good for the sport,
That is
baby.
hashtag
That is
good for the
hashtag good for the sport.
But another big performance of this, there was some, I don't even know what the meet is. What was the meet that Joey ran at?
UW invite, I think. Or UW preview.
Preview.
One of those UW
Yeah.
meets.
So there was a good 3K
Pretty-
at the UW preview, I suppose. Who won?
Blankenship.
Ben
Blankenship.
Blankenship.
Seven-
Fresh off of U.S. Cross.
7:45,
Yeah.
and Joey was fifth,
Fourth, I think.
fourth, and 7:47.
Shout out to our boy Joey. Good job.
So we just wanted to highlight that one. I think Sam Prakel was in the race. Like there was
Yep.
obviously
There's some good
good
field
job to
there.
everyone that ran well there, but we just wanted to highlight Joey because close personal friend of the pod. He's been on the show, and he's just like, I mean, when he came on, he told us he's like the whole story. So if you haven't listened to that episode, give it a listen because it is an amazing story, and it is really cool to see someone who's like, you look at them and you're like, man, like everything they're saying seems great, like mindset, everything, and then to actually see the performance come like just a few months later. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, I have a comment on that because when I lived with Drew, I remember watching him at the UW preview. Maybe it was a different UW meet, but it was at UW a couple years ago, and he like was mad he didn't get into the fast heat, and from the slow heat he just like led the whole thing and ran 7:59, and that was at a point when like
Joey?
Joey, that was when, and at that time it was like that was so far better than any time he'd ever run, and so that was like a huge breakthrough. And now to see him 12 seconds faster running with like very legit top of
Professional
the US
guys.
2
talent, like
seconds back.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And he got a shout out from Wesfly CEO, our old friends who we haven't mentioned for like 2 weeks now.
Ever Smolders.
Everett Smolders, because I think someone commented on the video you should talk about how Joey is now 20 seconds faster than Everett. I don't know what Everett's 3K PB is, but I assume it's like
8:07 apparently.
Yeah, I guess it is. So, you know, because Everett moved on from Joey, but now Joey's made this big jump. He might have to, the beef might be reignited. Not that it's real beef.
And Joey ran 4:05 in the mile after that.
Wow.
He doubled back.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully he just keeps that going. And then another comment, which was on our last video, which we want to talk about, is someone said, could you guys please talk about the beef between OAC and Stewy McSweyn?
Yeah. the feud. The feud that we apparently have.
We have a massive feud with Stewy boy.
Us and Stewy.
And yeah, that was our response.
What was our...
The laugh.
Yeah.
The laugh.
That laugh. I mean,
we don't know where that came from.
I just don't know. I'd have to look back. Did we ever talk about... I guess we talked about Stewy maybe being
too good?
Being really good?
I don't know.
And then that's caused a feud or something? I don't know.
Stewy, obviously, I'm sure, like, if you go back for National 1500 or whatever, that's going to be, like, some amazing races.
Yeah.
But Stewy's one of those guys who, even if you don't know him, like, you cannot say anything bad about him because you see him racing and you're like, wow, this guy's so amazing. Then you meet him and he's like even more amazing because he's just the most like chill, just like goes about his business, get it done. Like, I've known him since I was maybe like 15. We went on a camp together up in Forest Creek and he's always just been like the coolest guy.
He's also a guy that joined MTC and was like, he wasn't like a top shot recruit for MTC. He was like kind of there.
He wasn't a standout as a junior.
And then he just like trained really fucking hard.
That's crazy.
And got to where he wanted to go. And like, like you say, all out person and a racer. Like it's hard not to root for Stewy. So it's I don't know where that came from, but maybe like he likes to get
my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny you bring that up because it's actually the opposite. I mean, I'm sure he does like Aget. Like
Aget likes Stewy?
Aget loves Stewy. She does, because one time we were out in London together and we're with like a bunch of runners and most of the guys were just like, we're at like it was kind of like a club type thing and most of the guys were just like sitting down, but Stewy was just like getting after and just like dancing a ton. And Aget, who's my girlfriend for anyone that doesn't know, she like loves like that type of energy. Like she loves to just like dance and have a good time. So she was just so in love with Stewy because it's just like this tall, gangly dude, just like not giving a fuck, just getting after it. So maybe that is actually where this comes from. That's a good point.
I think I mixed it up, but yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk Aget about that later. But yeah, we love Stewy. All right, so there was a meet at Texas A&M, which the UTI, the United Arab Emirates Track Club, competed at.
United Airlines.
Jess Hull broke the Australian record, so great job.
8:39, great job,
really?
Jess.
I feel like I did not see anyone
hear
about that.
No,
I know they ran fast.
They just made like a small deal.
They made
out
small.
of it,
Yeah. Is it the area record?
How many records does she have at this point?
Did she re-break her own record though?
No, it wasn't hers.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure who had it before, but 8:39 season opener.
Maybe
sounds pretty quick to me.
Good job, Jess.
3K or something.
Good job, Jess.
Yeah, 8:39
opener sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job to her. I'm not sure were there any other performances.
The Man United team looks looking pretty good though.
Man United?
Sorry, UTI Track Club.
That was in it. That was not bad.
The Man United Track Club's looking pretty good. I think it's funny because like when they went to that meet and they've all got the emblem and stuff, but they're all wearing the same Nike kit, but they had some sort of ribbon on there. Did you guys notice that? So I'm not sure if that's their uniform. That's all Nike's going to give them. It's just this little ribbon on the side of their
I'm sure
jersey.
the uniform is coming.
I think that
I'm
probably
sure Pete Julian will be in charge
something.
of that. If it's anything to go with the name and the emblem, the uniform's going to be very bad.
Okay, at this point though,
they get the people to get the athletes to design the uniform.
Well,
please.
Not that I think that they necessarily care like what we think and say, but I think at this point you got to lean into it and make it as everything has to now be as corny as possible because the name is so like just like corny and like bland kind of. You got to make everything and just like really lean into it, and then we can just appreciate it because then we'll be like, oh, Pete was joking the whole time. Like,
oh, Pete was just trolling everyone.
Can we lean into this other speculation that Joe had heard?
What was it?
The UA thing.
Oh yeah, can you tell us that?
I saw someone post.
We already obviously we make a lot of fun of UTI because they came up with a very similar name to ours.
Yeah,
very
UAC
short time after.
OAC.
Yeah,
and since then,
yeah,
Joe,
there's another Under Armour team.
More
not
wild
Dark
speculation,
Sky, but in Where is it?
Baltimore.
Somewhere?
It's based in Baltimore, coached by Corey Leslie.
Yeah, coached by Corey Leslie. And I don't think they have a name officially yet that people have said, but someone told me it was going to be called Under Armour Athletics Club, which would be unbelievable because that would be UAC, and then there'd be the UAAC.
UAAC.
And then
That'd
the OAC.
just be so funny if they did that.
Do we start a trend? I think we started a trend.
Every single
boys.
team is going to be the
Athletics Club. We started the trend
Yeah, I guess.
in the like the
take it.
American running world.
Yeah. That'd be so funny if they went with that name. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Should we take it as a compliment or?
Under Armour Athletic Club.
It does sound
Under Armour Athletic
not
Club?
bad.
I think.
does sound classy.
Sounds bitter.
Yeah.
It does sound better than Track Club. Under Armour Track Club.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to make fun of that one. I mean, we'll find
We'll just
something.
make fun of it because they copy.
But I would say
like
that
us.
something about the name Union, like the name Beasts. Like I'm sure when they first had that, people were like, "What the heck?" Like Beasts. Like that sounds just like. But now people just like own
Brooks
it.
Beast sounds good.
Now it sounds.
But
Yeah.
it's more, I still want to know what Union is. I still want to know what it's.
Well,
the
no, it's
union of.
Nike's first
Where
ever
is
union.
the union?
It's
Where-
Nike's first ever union.
What's being united?
I see what you're saying, though, Joe, because there is a lot of things like brands out there where, yeah, at one point, like, it probably sounded weird, and then it just becomes so commonplace that it's like nothing.
It's so normal for other sports teams to be an animal of some kind, but like that's just not a thing in running.
No.
Even when like new expansion teams in like NHL, NBA, like I feel like people are always like, "That's stupid." Like Oklahoma City Thunder, or
Las
like
Vegas Golden Knights.
Vegas
Golden
Where did
Knights.
the
Oh,
Golden
Golden
Knights
Well, the
Knights.
Seattle Kraken is pretty dope.
That actually is pretty sick.
Wait,
Kraken.
that's freaking
Kraken
that's
is
a
a
new
cool.
NHL
Yeah.
team.
It's funny that a lot of I guess it makes sense because ice hockey, but a lot of them just go for like aqua, like they go for water stuff. Like
I didn't think.
I can't think of any examples right now. I was gonna say
Ducks?
I was gonna say yeah. I was gonna say
Uh,
penguins, and I'm like, no, they're actually there on snow, so that does make sense for hockey.
But they go on the water.
Yeah,
Penguins go on the
Wait,
water.
like hockey teams come up with water things?
San
Yeah,
Jose,
they're a lot of-
San Jose Sharks.
sharks. Yeah, they're a lot of just like water themed stuff, which
Mm.
does make sense, but
Not if you're in Arizona, apparently.
Yeah, Phoenix
Coyotes.
coyotes. Yeah, haven't seen them in the water. No, but shout out. I mean, yeah, we had a lot of shit talking there as per usual, but the point of that was to say good job to Jess Hull for breaking the Australian record.
Yeah.
Good job, Jess.
That's what it boiled down to.
We're making fun of the name and the logo. We're not making fun of the individuals.
We
the
did-
individuals on that team are very fucking good. So
We did bring up the Beast there, and there was actually new announcement with that is that Isiah Harris just joined the Brooks Beast, which from our
I
point of
think
view
it's a
seems
great
like,
move.
Yeah, match made in
awesome
heaven.
move. Their 4x8 team looks scary now.
Yeah,
They've
they'll
got some
be-
great
Not
100
even
runners.
just their 4x8, like
Yeah, their whole team. Yeah,
they're really
It's always
good.
nice to see someone leave Nike for
for a better
a team like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like to be able to get like their second contract. And Isiah Harris is one of those guys who just goes so under the radar because he's just like he's so talented and just so consistent. He's just because we were in the same conference. He went to Penn State.
he did.
And apparently in high school, he was the state champ from like the 200 to the mile. And like if you watch him race, you can see it because he's
Yeah.
like he's the type of 800 guy who like splits a 45 in a 4x4. You know, he's
Yeah, he's
He's-
sub 4 miler now,
I
too.
saw this quote from him on Twitter too that like I don't know if it was Galt who posted it or some running journalist said he said that I will make the U.S. final every year until I retire. I was like, that's pretty
I like
sick.
that. That's a great
He
quote.
said he's made it every year since he was a freshman in college. The U.S. final. That's pretty.
That's
insane.
freaking impressive.
yeah he's like amazing.
You're right, he does go under the radar.
I think
because-
he's just not Donovan Brazier, and he just
Yeah.
gets so much attention that
Well, the
like
thing is,
anyone who's not him.
Anyone in the 8.
Isaiah Harris went to the Diamond League final last
Yeah,
year.
I mean he was fourth at the
Yeah.
wait
Was he
was
fourth
he
at the trials?
was he
Fourth
at
at
the
the trials.
Olympics? No, he was fourth.
Isaiah
Right?
did, yeah, he didn't make the Olympics.
But he
was,
made the world champ slot. I don't know.
Was he
He might
third in Diamond League final? I'd have to check that. I thought he was up there, but I'm not sure.
He definitely could have been. He's got a 144.
He won a Diamond League.
He won a
Yeah.
Diamond League
He won
too.
like
yeah.
Oslo,
Yeah, like a good
a
Diamond League.
or something.
It's crazy. Like, okay, I didn't make the Olympics, but like US 800 is so good, you can just go win a
Yeah.
Diamond League. I mean,
Yeah.
same on the women's side. Kate Grace doesn't
Yeah.
make the Olympics, and
Yeah.
then wins a Diamond League.
The summer of Kate.
The
Yeah.
summer of Kate.
Started running 157s. Ranked third in the world.
Never stopped.
All right, let's move on to the shell burrito. So, there has been speculation that in Flagstaff, if people are
How did-
obviously following the
don't-
track and field community,
Yeah.
Bauman at training camp, they thought, what's a better place to go from rainy Portland to snowy Flagstaff?
Well, Flagstaff is a common winter training place.
Yeah, but snowy.
I went there in the winter. What are you trying to say, bro?
Oh, I'm just trying to rile up George. Anyway, apparently we've got a source. So this is not.
It's not even apparently. We know she's
Okay,
there.
we know for a fact she's there. Shelby's there, and apparently she's training 20 minutes behind Bauman.
Okay, that's the speculation.
That's the
that
spec-
part is
that's
we
the
know
speculation.
she's
back
there.
up and say the problem with that. Like, isn't she like I don't know the rules.
Well, the problem with that is she's not allowed.
She's not allowed to train with.
We'll leave it up to the listeners to decide.
We know the rules.
Whether they think it's weird that Shelby is training in Flagstaff while the team she used to be on. Do we say used to be on?
She's still on them?
She's
if
she's still on them, she can't.
Which is not,
the team she used to be on.
Someone said she's still on their roster online, though. But maybe they just haven't updated that.
Yeah.
That could be an excuse. But the thing is, if you're a convicted drug cheat, you shouldn't have a coach. You can't train with the team. There's all these rules.
That's what it boils down to at this point is like, you can, there's obviously what happened with her being convicted of drugs is like, still up to debate in a lot of people's eyes, but it's like this is kind of past that where it's like, well, whether you believe that she is a drug cheat or not, then once you are convicted of being like using drugs and getting caught doping, it's like you have the rules of that, like you have to like you can't be associated with like any of these like things, like you can't have these official coaches and stuff, and so it's like now if she is doing that, like she's kind of like shadowing Bauman, then that gets into
can they stop her? Like you can't stop her going to flag.
You can't stop it. You can't. But it's like that's just so clearly like not what you should do.
Like, is she being coached down there?
That's the thing. She's being coached by Jerry.
It's such a gray.
It's just so obvious
it's
that
running.
she is.
You know what I mean? It's so hard. It's like
if
she runs 20 feet behind them, is she training with them?
Yeah.
Like yes,
or is she just stalking?
Yeah. Or she just, yeah.
But that's why it's like if you were in that
situation,
situation, you would just want to remove any doubt at all, and you would just or association like while you're still like for Jerry, for example, like he's not. I think if it was. I don't know how you, as we're talking about, I don't know how you prove this, but if he is coaching there, then he gets in trouble, I think.
He would be off. He'd be off.
Like, I think you get in a lot of trouble for that.
He'd be out.
So it's like, why would you
risk
allow that risk
I feel like it
happen?
almost looks worse on, I mean.
It looks worse on Jerry.
Or even just like, if I was on the girls team, I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable. Even if I was super good friends with Shelby, I was like, I feel like you just shouldn't be training here.
Because you gotta look at your career. Like,
you wouldn't want to be associated with it, even if you like 100% believe in her, like
which they clearly do,
which they do, and like probably really good friends with her. But that's like not; those are like two different things.
Also, if I didn't know her and I joined that team, and I know 20 minutes behind me is a drug cheat that's still training with our group, like that to me is not a great feeling.
Yeah, like it just makes me think too much of like Mo Farah being seen at the track with like Jama Aiden, which is like, like that's like he gotten so much shit for that type of stuff, and that was like when people see that stuff, they're like, oh, like classic like drug treat Mo. Like it's just such a bad look because Jama's been been found with
Galen
drugs.
Runt, when he got asked about do you still have contact with Alberto, and he said I do not have any professional he said professional contact with Alberto.
Yeah.
So he's obviously had personal contact with him, but no professional with coaching.
But personal contact would be like. Probably fine.
Yeah, you are allowed personal. That's what
like if he's probably I assume good friends with him. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. But he said that, right?
Yeah.
So like if there was any recordings of if there was a phone call with him and Alberto's like actively professionally training him over a phone call.
Code words like do 10 times
10 schmeckles. Do 10 schmeckals.
Go to the store and buy 10 chicken thighs. You know what that
10
means.
schmeckles and do 4 by schmickles and then do 13 jiggles.
All right, I got 10 mile templates tomorrow.
But like,
I feel like some workouts would get lost in translation.
This is definitely up for debate for what people would think because like in a running community, obviously we go by the rules. You know, there's rules.
Yeah.
And
I think it goes back to like with the Shikari thing. Like everyone realized like okay, this rule is like dumb, but at the end of the day, they have to follow them. You know, and people are like, well, maybe the rules should be changed, and I don't know if this. Or any rules.
Well, this isn't a rule that I think anyone would say.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. But like what I'm saying is they have to follow these rules.
Yeah.
Like,
and you want them to be enforced. You want them as an athlete in the sport.
You can't pick and choose what you follow.
Again, the only thing we know for sure is that she's in flag. The rest is speculation.
As an athlete, you want those rules to be enforced because at the end of the day, if she's able to get away with this for 4 years, which I don't think is very likely, then she's literally been training with the group and with the coach for 4 years, and then is able to come out and Dude, that's not fair.
She did post that nasty tempo that she did right before Christmas.
Oh yeah,
I think she did a 5 mile tempo in like 25:20 something.
Oh yeah, 25:25 I think.
Yeah,
it was like 5:05.
She's fit
for 5
right
miles.
Now. So if she gets cleared, man, she'll be racing that next week probably. So yeah, I don't know what our take is from that. I think we talked about that way more.
Well, no, I mean we'll see what happens.
We don't even have any real takes on much of it. It's just
I take it's definitely like if that is happening and Jerry's coaching her, that's
hashtag
that's
not
a
good for the
hashtag
sport.
not good for the sport situation.
Yeah.
If it's just a coincidence that she's up there because it's a place to train, get altitude training
She
in,
seems
and
like
she's
the
on
type
her
of
own.
person just
like
love
she's
flag.
been there for like many years
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Bowerman
Yeah.
before, and so she knows where to train.
and
Like,
she's just there.
Yeah.
She's training. She's on her own. She's not getting any contact with Jerry or the team. She's just doing her own thing. Then that's the way it is. But it is very hard to look past, the joining dots there.
Yeah.
Because it's the same time. But we'll leave it up to
these guys,
the track
the
gods.
listeners.
the listeners.
Yeah. We're just a couple of idiots with some microphones. Nothing more, nothing less. So moving on from that, I mean, that's actually pretty much everything that we wanted to cover today. We got through it a lot quicker than I thought we would. So
Yeah.
how about we cap today off with a round
A
of
good old-fashioned game.
hashtag
of-
good for the sport. Ollie, you ready?
Hit me.
Wait, have you
Was that
got it?
really? Oh well, I don't know. I kind of had some, but then you kind of just dropped it on me right now.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were getting
Sorry.
into it yet.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
Do you have any, Klecker?
Have you been thinking of some?
I haven't.
Okay.
Not really, no.
Well, I have some written down. So, and this first one we could talk about for a little while, even though that's not what this game is meant to be. It's meant to be quick fire.
Quick
But-
fire. Let's go.
All right, Ollie, good for the sport. Cross country in the Winter Olympics.
Hashtag very good for the sport.
Yeah, that's just like such an obvious
That's a
one.
no-brainer. Well, that could be us. That's in like 2 weeks. We could be
But
on
can
the
you
Olympics in
if
2
you
weeks.
think if you think about it too, like there's a lot of athletes that are just ridiculous over cross country and maybe not as good on the roads and track. Like imagine that's like event for them at the Olympics.
I
Like,
tell you why I
it's very cool.
I'm confused. Why like this? The thing that makes me think why it's such an obvious thing to do is think about how many more countries that brings into the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, totally. Like the Winter Olympics is probably so much more inaccessible to a lot of countries. One, like if you don't
Yeah.
have snow, you're kind of screwed. And two, like bobsledding, like I don't even know where to get into it. Like,
Where do you go sign up for like local
Yeah.
bobsledding?
It's not like
I
cool
must have
running.
missed that.
It's not like cool runnings where you can just all of a sudden
Yeah.
just grab a team together and just make a makeshift.
Well, and that
bobsled
is the
car.
thing. I think if they brought in more countries like that, they'd probably watch the other sports at the Winter Olympics that they didn't even know existed.
More fan engagement for sure in the other
Yeah.
events. Yeah.
So hopefully that happens. Sebco.
Good
said
luck,
it's
Sebco.
part of his
Sebco,
mission
yeah,
to
he
do
better do it. Otherwise, I'm not voting for him as president. Oh wait, we don't vote anymore.
Someone tweeted like cross country in the Winter Olympics or like 20 different ways to get down a snowy hill, which is very true.
that. Yeah, they do. They do
That's
keep
really-
adding all like the different freestyle events. and
yeah,
stuff.
skiing, snowboarding,
Like
bobsledding,
they keep adding all these different
Nordic
ones.
skiing.
It's kind of funny, but don't touch curling though. We know Klecker loves curling.
I do like curling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't if you took curling out, Winter Olympics would be dead to me.
All right, are they athletes or not though?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's like,
Do you
Like-
have to be athletic?
do you have to be athletic to shoot, like shooting?
Yeah,
Or-
I don't like.
Yeah,
I don't like the
that's
question
true.
of like
That's-
is someone an
that's not a-
athlete or not because it's like
Yeah.
people could. Can you
That's
say
us.
about running? Could you not? Because it's not like
Well, I guess one you have to be like physically athletic,
yeah.
and for some,
or like,
doesn't-
people say it about like baseball players or cricket players sometimes.
Dude, in
Definitely.
curling, you got to move
It's
that broom
definitely
really
a
fast.
no doubt a skill. Like
Yeah.
but like then it gets into the whole argument. Well, a skill is that
Skill
a sport?
V, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
oh, the sweeping actually. No,
Yeah,
I would say
sweeping
you
is
do.
pretty
The
intense.
sweeping is intense, and
does
those matches
does
can
every
go like
does
3
every
hours.
player sweep?
Yeah, they rotate,
Yeah.
and those matches can go
Don't-
like 3 hours. And when I was curling, I was doing it in Minnesota, and I was getting like some lessons from this guy, and he was saying that like if the rock is gonna go like just way down the end or like too short, like they won't even sweep it to like save stamina, like because like there's
If
no
it's
point.
already screwed.
Yeah, if it's already screwed, they're just like, all right, I'm not even gonna like waste my energy.
Don't ask
'Cause-
Dathan that question though.
What does he think?
Which one?
Oh, he'd say no.
Does
Like,
he know what curling is?
he doesn't even think F1 is a sport. Like Dathan's very much
Well,
like
Dathan's like running or nothing.
yeah,
man.
he's like right or
Even
die
though on his
running.
Instagram, no Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah,
bio, doesn't it
Wikipedia-
say like he's
He's like a fan
interested
of
in
Le Mans or something.
fan of motorsports or something?
Is it
Yeah.
really?
I don't know where that came
I
from.
think it does.
Dude, who put that in there?
Someone just sneaked that into Wikipedia
How did that
page.
get in there?
I guess. You got any?
I was just gonna add something. I don't know, just some post-run Chick-fil-A.
Oh, hashtag good for the sport, baby.
That's a good one today.
Chick-fil-A, honestly, pretty good after a run. Probably pretty good after a workout, I'd say. Much more rewarding after a workout.
That's why I didn't order it.
Yeah.
You deserve it. Yeah.
Next week.
Next week, we'll get into it. Oh, okay. I got one for you two, because I just thought of one. A team traveling somewhere warmer for training camp, is that good for the sport? Leaving a running community and then going to a place like Florida where there is literally no running community.
I would say no.
You'd say no?
It's good for our team.
Good for our sport, good for our team, but not good for the sport in general, probably.
Yeah, I gotta say something in like college. I'll probably agree with Klecker and say hashtag not good for the sport.
Yeah.
Because I definitely like fondly. It's not ideal, but I fondly look back on like the winter training and like the grind of it and like how you have to like change things up and just
and
like
I
make
think
do.
the thing about running is like it's so accessible to everyone. Now like you're making it where like people are like, well, I can't just go live down in Florida for 6 weeks and train in warm weather.
Yeah, it's pretty unrealistic.
Yeah. so people are like, well, I can't. Yeah.
And yet here we are.
Yeah, here we are in Florida.
Doing our thing.
America's Wang. What? It looks like a penis. It does.
I need to see the map.
It's America's Wang.
A little bit.